Happy Monday, citizens of WWT land. If you hear the sound of my voice, that's right. The mayor is here hosting the day, and the inmates are running the asylum. We're going to be talking everything Slammiversary, Bobby Lashley, and of course, the return to CM Punk tonight. Keep it locked here. It's the Monday edition of WWT Live.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Monday, beautiful people. If you hear the sound of my voice again, it is the mayor, the EEST of WWT, and my oppressor gave me the keys to the castle. So you know we're going to get into a little mischief today, running this here stream. And thankfully, I am not alone. I am with the sweetest Oos, the queen of the honey. And she's joining me today. Thank you so much. Honey, how was your weekend? How was your Monday?
It was good. It was good. I got to relax today because, I had a weekend of hustling, making sure the honey pot and the beehive was still intact and everything, just handling business over here. But doing okay. Coming off of a crazy weekend indeed. So can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, a lot of news happened quietly. I mean, we went into Friday with some birthdays. The SummerSlam picture is getting a little bit clearer now, and just a lot of stuff on the heels of a sold-out Slammiversary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's just jump right into Slammiversary really quick, since that was the main wrestling show we had this weekend outside of Collision and a couple of title changes and debuts. We have a new TNA World Champion in the Eliminator matches. I was going to call him his old name. Nick Nemeth came out on top as TNA champ. Furthermore, across the board, Jordan Grace retained her title against Ash by Elegance. Oh, I hate that name. We had the Rascals taking on the North Quarter Club Catch Crew. I might have said that name wrong. I might have butchered it. Rascals came out with Buzz Lightyear tribute gear. AJ Francis, I believe, retained against PCO. And PCO defeated AJ Francis for the TNT Digital Media Championship. All in all, stat card, ruckus environment, a lot of title changes. What was your biggest takeaway from Slammiversary?
Honestly, I didn't get to tune in too much because your girl was out hustling, keeping the bacon coming in. But I did hear a lot, and I did see a lot of pictures of Nick Nemeth and a lot of happy people with him holding, about him holding this title. I think the biggest takeaways, if I could say, just from seeing seeing everything that was going on online, was pretty much this match between him and Moose, as well as Jordan Grace's win, and of course Joe Hendry was quite the talk as well. I didn't get to see what happened between the Rascals and the No Quarter Catch Crew, though I really would have liked to. I kind of wish I could have tuned in. But yeah, I think a lot of the big takeaways was a lot of the things that pretty much was being hinted at from the Rascals showing up, and then as well as Jordan Grace and Nick Nemeth winning. But shout outs and congratulations to Nick Nemeth. First world title in what, 10 years? 10 years? About?
Ooh, feels like it's been longer than that, if I'm being honest.
It does feel like it's longer than that. But either way, well deserved.
Right. And what stood out to me about this match is it was an eliminator match, and the rank of where people were eliminated. Moose, the current champion, got put out early by Joe Hendry, which led to where we had with the final people, and I believe that was Nick Nemeth, but coming out top over Josh Alexander. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys. But all in all, we're in a new era. Nick Nemeth, who was also one of the contributors to, I believe, Busted Open Radio, I thought that this move would have happened way sooner when you talk about Nick Nemeth being a flag bearer for TNA. And he's having a pretty stellar year. He's won New Japan titles, and I believe there's another promotion played with CMLL title as well. He's been doing the world tour, if you so to speak. Also on the card, I believe Mustafa Ali dropped to Speedball Mike Bailey. So a night of title changes
Wow.
all around. So just a new era for TNA, and we know on the heels of this WWE partnership that there's a lot more to come. Just looking at some of the comments, Dylan says that he believes that Nick will show up to NXT with the title. We see Wesley was appearing on TNA programming with the Rascals, so that partnership is going to keep flourishing, and it seems like it's a really good two-way partnership. So, quick question for you: since we got the Rascals Wesley and No Quarter Cat on the TNA PLE, what are some other mashups you like to see or crossovers for
Oof.
people for
Oof.
WWE stars going over to the TNA world?
I mean, now that we have this partnership, it seems like, the partnership itself is just being solidified in a very big way, especially with the first thing that I thought of when I saw Nick Nemeth with a picture of it with the title in his hand. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, he can go to TNA. Oh my God, this is going to be crazy. I think, um, let's see. I mean, we've already seen Jordan Grace literally grace us with her presence against Roxanne Perez. Um, I've been saying it for a while, and I'm still going to keep saying it, even though he's not the champion. But he did say in an interview that I saw on, I think it was, I don't know, I forget which website it was on, but I saw that Moose had mentioned that the TNA relationship with WWE is better than it was before. So I'm gonna keep saying I would love to see Moose with an NXT or somebody face Moose in TNA, preferably Obafemi. Just saying. It's just one of my dream things that I've been looking at.
Now that Moose is no longer the TNA World Champion, and he was kind of vocal about not going to NXT in the past and wanting to go straight to main if there's going to be any crossover, I think it makes sense just to have Obafemi pull up on him
I think
in
so too.
TNA.
I would like that. And being
Makes
that
perfect sense.
Obafemi is the one that has the title, the North American title, and we see the North American title on TNA television, I think that would be considerably awesome.
I can't wait to see what else happens. I'm gonna get to some of these comments real quick. Dylan says Microsoft turned heel on the TNA NXT partnership. Boza says probably the biggest crowd this version of TNA has ever had, maybe in the past decade. He said he didn't see Nick winning Saturday night. Wish they called a pivot with how hot Joe Hendry is. Joe Hendry's, if you look at how rowdy they were for Joe Hendry, that is very surprising that they didn't pull the trigger right now.
Considering he is everywhere right now. Everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you could be in different places at once, because once you say his name, he appears. I don't know how that works, but he pulls it off really nicely.
It's magic.
It's magic.
Boza shouting out PCL winning the Digital Media Championship and then proposing to his girlfriend Steph DeLander after the match. Dylan believes that Nick Nemeth will appear with the title on NXT, and I agree, because I believe around this time, was it last year around this time? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Wasn't that long ago that Nick was Dolph Ziggler and actually held the NXT Championship for a stint.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. Huh. Wow, I forgot about that.
What's up, Cousin Ron? What's up, Special Little Nobodies? Happy Monday to everybody. But yeah, overall, really good outcome for Slammiversary. I believe they had a packed house, sold out show. It speaks volumes to the WWE partnership doing numbers, and I really believe that here in the next couple of weeks, we'll see more dominoes fall.
Absolutely.
I can't think of which. I think we've seen so far Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, Wesley, all appear on TNA programming. I think they just got to just pull a big domino out at some point and send maybe Oba or Trick. Maybe you have an angle where you have Trick go team with Joe Hendry in a tag match on TNA program. There's so many ways.
Considering they just had a match on NXT. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that. I just want to say really quick off the subject, I find your shirt fascinating. What great fashion sense. Did you go to the birthday party as well? How was that Vice City birthday party?
I'm not authorized to comment on what happened at the birthday party, but I will say it was a good time. There is another birthday that we will be celebrating today that completely ties into why I'm wearing this shirt that we'll get into a little bit later. Eric points out a good point. Earl Hebner finally righted his wrong at Montreal. Everybody talks about the Montreal screw
Oh
job. Earl
yes.
Hebner
Oh
was
my
their
God.
big
Yes.
surprise for the
So he
show.
actually did show up. Wow, that's crazy. That's so awesome. Jordan Grace retaining tells me that
Interesting take,
NXT
Dylan. He says Jordan Grace retaining tells me that I don't know if that would be a good look. I don't know if that would be a good look if it happens. I think that might stain the title a little bit if they do it, unless it's like a really lengthy run.
Hmm.
Let's a really lengthy run. Now, what Dylan did say, I think, where is that comment? So you want to shock the world, put the NXT title on Joe Hendry. And you know what? I can see it. I can see it. Just because Joe Hendry's so hot and now the whole NXT environment is singing that song and it kind of overshadows the whoop that trick chants slightly.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Sad. Sad. We are not going
I
there. Are
can
we
see it.
really saying that? We really throwing away the whoop that era for all ego for 5 minutes and then Joe Hendry? Trick Williams gonna get eaten alive.
They dedicated it.
Oh,
Now, I've been on record that I haven't been watching the program, but I do have Twitter and I see tweets. They they had a whole show dedicated to that man. Literally, like segments throughout the show. Like you couldn't go what? It's only a 2 hour program. You couldn't go
but
more than 15, 20 minutes without seeing a Joe Hendry reference.
it was kind of like Jordan Grace when she was there because they did segments in the backstage. She had a segment with Roxanne and all that. But I don't know. You really think they'll do that? You really think they'll put the title on like that? Especially like they were so quick to put it on All Ego, and now he's being overshadowed by Joe Hendry. Like they're just gonna jump right, like
Not
they're just
now,
gonna hot potato
not
the
now, but
title.
maybe by what's the next big show? I mean, I know they just announced Halloween Havoc, and then also
Bad Blood.
No Mercy coming up. I can see one of those PLEs,
Or is that
them
Bad Blood?
putting on Joe Hendry because if Joe Hendry is going to be a focal point, and maybe next time they go overseas to like Scotland during the European tour next year, and he's does something with the Scottish wrestlers, I can totally see that. What's up, Jeffrey? Um, Dylan says, "Did I learn how to unretire a shirt?" I don't know if the shirt was it retired. I mean,
I mean, we have proof.
I think the people.
Said
I think the people unretired the shirt. I think
we
the
have
people
proof.
unretired the
You
shirt.
said it. Well, you said retire as mayor, but you were hurt. That's exactly what you said. No, I'm not bugging. You're not doing this to me when it's just you and me. Where's Professor and TK when you need them? Because they were here when you said it and you retired. Because I remember my face and we were shocked. So you did say you retired the shirt. Guys, what's going on here?
I wish I had that Wolf of Wall Street clip where it just says "I'm not going" because that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
I love it.
Christy Wilson, you might be new. How's it going? Says, what about Trick Williams? What about
Exactly.
him?
Exactly.
Joe
That's my
Joe Hendry is
question.
a international phenomena right
But we're
now.
not gonna sit here and just forget that Chick Williams wasn't just the hottest thing on NXT first. So I mean, I know they just tag teamed, but eventually we're gonna have to get down to the bottom of this. So book it, Hickenbottom. That's all I gotta
I
say.
have a very I don't know if this question's inbounds, but I'm just going to ask anyway. Was Trick hot because fans liked Trick Williams, or they liked how long we did the who attacked Trick thing with Mello?
No, I think the crowd was definitely into Trick Williams and how he was built. First from coming as a sidekick from under Carmelo Hayes to now being his own man and his own superstar and his own wrestler. He was definitely a hot point for sure, especially after Carmelo Hayes moved on and he finally beat him. And yeah, like hello, whoop that trick and the song and the guy's got the look and he looked great with the title. They were building lots of great stories around him going into later this year, being that they're going to transition into CW. But now what? Now I guess we just just sweep him under the rug? Is that what we're saying here? Because I don't agree with that. I don't think we should. I think Trick Williams needs to fight back for the title, that fight back for the title he lost, number one, and then defend it against Joe Hendry, and then we'll see who's the rightful.
Christy says she knows Joe Henry is hot right now, but think Trick deserves a chance to be NXT champion again. And I will counter that to say, if you look at the lineage of the NXT World Champion, you look at everybody who's a two-time champion, sometimes three-time champion, and do you think Trick belongs to be paired with those names? Honest question for everybody else in the chat. Ron brings up a very good point. I think a TNA star has to take a title first before the opposite happens. I agree 100%. If you really want to make this partnership work, somebody from TNA has to cross over. And there's how many belts now? You even have the North American Women's. There's so many titles there, but TNA has to strike first in that department to make it make sense.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The only person who's had more than two, the only person who's had more than two reigns as the NXT champion is Samoa Joe. That's crazy.
I think Samoa got 3. Karen Cross has held the title twice.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Samoa Joe has 3. He's the one with the longest.
Yeah, Samoa Joe's only 3 times.
The most title reigns. That's so crazy to me. That's insane. Everybody else is at 2 and 1. I just wow.
Karen Cross, I think Ciampa might be 2, Braun 2, Shinsuke 2, Finn might also have 2.
So, yeah, no, every single one of them has 2.
And Dylan also said, take away the Trick song and it definitely dies down.
Oh, come on now. Come on. It's one of those situations where the song and the superstar mesh really well, and it's all about the crowd interaction. I mean, Joe Hendry obviously ultimately capitalized on that with his theme song. He even did a whole interview about how he came up with it and how he created it for that specific purpose, for it to be that over. So, I mean, I don't know.
Especially when nobody agrees with us. Moose is out with the title. I hope he comes after Oba. And I think what me and Honey are saying, I hope Oba pulls up on him.
Yes, I think it should. I think it should be that way.
I hope he says, hey, I want you, not the other way around.
Right, because Oba's been dominating everybody. Yeah, he doesn't run from a fight.
Like, you're a former champion. I want to test myself against you.
I think it'd be very, very ballsy.
Exactly. Speaking of, well, I can't transition from ballsy, but speaking from a fight that a lot of people want to see, Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill finally happened in the form of Hot Ones from the First We Feast brand. I actually got the chance to watch this a little earlier today, and some interesting stuff got uncovered. They tried to play the game against each other, where they were able to ask questions or eat a spicy food, in which both of them expressed they don't really eat spicy foods. Very cute stuff with Bianca and Montez as usual. Bianca did not take the out when asked if she had a freebie. Who would it be? Said she wouldn't want a freebie. Good, because that's on television. She did break some news that in the Queen of the Ring tournament, when receiving Nia Jax's finisher, that she peed a little. And Jade Cargill actually spilled some dirt and said that she feels like she's stronger, smarter in the ring, and I'm missing one other, and then Bianca countered and said, no, you need to eat a wing because you're lying. Will you watch this? And if anybody in the chat watched this, what do you think about the first time we saw these two each other?
I will watch this. I did see the clip of Bianca talking. I just love these two. Are the duo that we all totally needed and we all knew we wanted. As far as what you're insinuating, I don't want, like I said, I'm a big advocate for these two being together. I kind of don't want them to split right away. I think this is the closest we're going to get for right now as far as Bianca versus Jade. It's not going to happen until a little bit later. I think there's going to be more buildup. And plus, they do have a tag team title shot that they are owed, which I'm sure will be happening by SummerSlam. But I love seeing these two, and I love the show Hot Ones. I gotta watch this episode. I gotta see the whole clip, the whole thing. I didn't see everything, but I saw when she talked about Nia Jax, and I was like, oh my God, Bianca.
It was adorable.
Yeah, they are adorable. I love them. I love them so
Yeah,
much.
especially
I
no
just
new,
want them to
especially no
continue
new
this.
leg drops anymore because of that reason.
Yeah, they're like the two best friends that anyone ever had, like for real. And their chemistry is like unmatched.
No, it's good to see their friendship off screen, and it feels like a very real thing, of course. And
Mhm.
there, a lot of people. What another thing I noticed that I did not put on our rundown today, and I think somebody reacted to it in our group chat. Bianca, I believe, is still top three in how many matches she's won this calendar year so far. I believe Cody
Mm,
Rhodes was one, who was two, but Bianca was still, I believe, top three, which should not surprise a lot of people, but it speaks to how much staying power she has. So I think it's a great place that they're utilizing Bianca to kind of establish and build the tag team division. But obviously, as a tag team, especially when you look at just the two of these ladies, and then you tie in what they did at WrestleMania with the big three, there's so much more they can do together than apart right now.
yes, definitely. There's so much more for them to do. And they're going to capitalize on it. I have a feeling they're going to win those titles again.
Oh, I hope we just get the chase for some time because I think Isla and Alba really need to be established, and whatever they're doing with Sonya, Zoe, and Shayna, I think that needs some
Mm,
legs too.
gotcha.
But shout out to Hot Ones. It's always fun seeing that. I secretly want to try those spicy foods one day. I don't know. I
Oh
don't
my
know if
God.
we have anybody in the chat that cooked that up. And like I'm down.
I do love me a good spicy wing though. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know about the bomb spicy, like those flavors that they have, but I like pretty somewhat spicy.
Nah, I want to try it. I want to try it all. I want to try it all. I would do the hot chip challenge
Even
if
down
people
to the
weren't like
dab at
expiring
the
from it, but
end, the
I
one
would
at
do
the
it.
end, you would try that one
Mm-hmm.
too. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. I don't know if I could
Absolutely.
do it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I could do it.
Nah, I wouldn't even do a dab. I would dip the whole thing. I want to
Not a
experience
dab,
it.
it's a dip. Hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. Go ahead and marinate it. Dylan says, "Can Papa H's side of Isla and Alba are heels or faces, please? Because I have no clue. I'm pretty sure they're heels. I don't think they do. I don't think the only reason we got the baby face identity, if any type of narrative there, just because if they were in their homeland when they won the
Mm.
titles. But we got big news that we got to talk about coming out of the roster side of things. And shocking news this weekend, we learned that Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Tamina were removed internally off the WWE roster with contracts set to expire. MVP even confirmed this news with a tweet with just the emoji of the salute, pretty much confirming that he's probably not re up and he's out. Bobby actually had some news come out earlier today saying that there was an offer on the table that he didn't feel like he wanted to sign right away, wanted to kind of test himself on the open market, see what he's worth, but he does plan to continue wrestling. And I believe the Tamina news isn't surprising to me because I believe she was quietly retiring anyway within the past several months. But the Bobby news is surprising just because of what we have going with the Pride faction, with BFAB, the Street Profits, and then obviously the elephant in the room is how badly they fumbled the Hurt Business and not, us truly never getting uh, the Almighty versus Roman Reigns. What do you think of everything surrounding Bobby Lashley, and where do we go from here with him?
Uh, I think it's unfortunate, but I don't think it's a total loss because there's a way that they can find a way to wedge that. And I feel like I'll get to exactly what that could be. But honestly, this the last appearance Bobby Lashley had, he defeated Santos Escobar. And that was at a WWE Live European tour, literally right in May. And before that, I guess you could say that his biggest match was with was at WrestleMania even before that. So there was a lot of inklings. I mean, even especially with ushering this new era, because we know that Vince was very high on Lashley. It seems like with this new era, they're going in a different direction. And honestly, with the whole flop with the revamping of the Hurt Business and trying to rebuild it through the Street Profits and then adding BFAP to the situation, I feel like it just looked a little bit too um it was too suffocating. It was too much going on every time they all came out, because Bobby Lashley is already a presence on his own, and I think that's how they should capitalize. That's how he should capitalize off of himself, because he is a superstar and he's very renowned, and he's been world champion many times. We did not get the Almighty versus the Tribal Chief, which is something that I feel like we should have gotten, which is unfortunate as well. But I think that there's a way that they could tie into the situation, and I think the best way to do it is because of TNA. So remember, we all got to remember that Bobby Lashley has had a very big relationship with TNA years ago, and I think that they could possibly rekindle that, and maybe he can just make the maneuver and still appear on WWE television if he wanted to for NXT. But yeah, it is unfortunate, and Tamina's really surprised me as well. I also realized that she has not been in a match literally since last Royal Rumble, literally since the last year's Royal Rumble. But as you said, she has been quietly retiring anyway. I think that was just pretty much her plan. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea to do the whole big grand gesture and the whole final goodbye and the thank you Tamina and like the Ric Flair retirements and all that stuff. But some people just want to go quietly, and she had a great career in certain aspects, or some would say. I felt like I always gravitated towards her a lot. I wish they would have utilized her a lot better, or maybe a lot more in certain situations. And as far as MVP goes, he's a great asset to any business. I just wish that they would have worked something out with him, especially when they did so much to bring him back. But yeah, I mean, shout outs to all three of them, and I have a feeling we'll see them again at some point, especially Bobby.
Well, I know MVP is in talks, I believe, to be retained in a producer role backstage, which is interesting because I don't know what that does for Omos without having him as a talking head. I'm going to read some of these comments. Boza says, I was waiting for Mr. Mayor to bring this up. Wrestling Facebook is used for losing their shit, using the R word, that word being racist. I've seen so many comments questioning Hunter in regards to how minorities are booked, people of color. I've seen the comments, and then you can look at how Bobby Lashley has been booked, and it hasn't been promising. You look at LA with the Dre. And the Dre wasn't even on the LA WrestleMania card. I believe it was on SmackDown. He just came out and posed with the trophy. So, I mean, there's a lot of things you can try to claim, but I mean, Bobby Lashley, along with Sasha Banks, let's be clear, carried the pandemic era for sure with the Hurt Business.
Yeah, the era where there was no audience.
Wednesday night.
The era with no audience.
So it's very hard to keep attention.
Even harder. They had to work extra
hard. I do
hard.
not believe the Hurt Business will be on Wednesday nights. I don't see that being a thing, just because Shelton's out there doing his thing. Bobby's free. MVP will be free. Cedric Alexander is on NXT now. Him and Ashanti just made their first appearance on NXT last week. Boza says the fake TK wouldn't know what to do with the Hurt Business on Wednesday nights. I agree.
And he wouldn't know what to do with Bobby Lashley.
It's surprising because none of these individuals have been on TV.
He wouldn't know what to do with Bobby either.
They haven't been on TV, but we know that Bobby Lashley's the leader of the Street Profits and BFAB. Like we know that. That's the only correlation to those three being on programming together is Bobby Lashley. So it's weird that it's weird to see that Bobby Lashley wouldn't just be retained, because he's somebody that can be put in the main event picture very easily. Boza says Wrestling Facebook thinks Papa H is racist, but like Honey said, Bobby hasn't done much since Mania. Tamina had been with WWE for 13 years, a female wrestler. That is an incredible run. It absolutely is incredible to have so much staying power with the company. and she can still be a mentor backstage for a lot of the women's wrestlers who are coming through the NIL system and still trying to learn the WWE way since she's been pretty much a vet in this game for a long time. Boza agrees
Hmm.
with you. Says if anything, I can see Bobby going back to TNA. He had success there. Was a two-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that would be the best move for him. If WWE didn't make a great offer, then see what you can do in TNA, and you'll still be able to appear on WWE TV with NXT. And honestly, we've never seen that. So why not do something new, something fresh,
Mhm.
something different? Shout outs to the veteran Bobby Lashley.
Shadow Ranger says AEW is way too crowded. Who would lose their TV time to the Hurt Business? And that's actually a very good question because with so many factions and
Too
characters on
many.
that show, that's why I personally don't feel like he fits. like I just don't see the space where he would work out there and be prominently featured. It would be like a nice shiny new toy thing, but then I don't see them really creating a pathway for him to or having a plan for him.
Yeah. TNA, I feel
But
like
with
is the
that being
would be the
said,
better route. He could retire too if he wants as well.
yeah, I think the plans that he said that I read right now is that he does plan to continue wrestling. So there's still another run in him. Speaking of run, we have a run from our sponsors.
Have you heard the news? It's pretty big. I heard from my friend who heard from her friend all the way from the Caribbean. Well, when I heard from my friend, I became super excited. And I think you guys will like it too. WWT now has an official partner and it's All Caribbean Wrestling, the premier promotion across the Caribbean. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1. Now, you make sure you go and check them out and tell them WWT sent you. You hear me?
Hey yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
The accent never fails.
And by that merch, I don't think I've seen nobody with no ESC or WWT shirts. I'm gonna start being on people's heads, not having those shirts. Speaking of which, we have news, and I'm pretty sure Honey will love this news. A thing, or I don't even know what to classify this as, but I love seeing crossovers from actual wrestling performers going into a different realm. Damian Priest Live is being added to SummerSlam weekend. Now I don't know exactly what this is, but it sounds like it's a maybe a live Q&A. It also feature, I believe, Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. But it kind of shows that we're really getting more influence into the run of Damian Priest, kind of allowing him to show more character. And I think this started last week in that promo segment with Gunther, where we kind of had a flipping of roles in a sense, with Gunther kind of berating him and calling him trash, calling him poor, and all that type of stuff. And it kind of allowed us to see the babyface Damian Priest that I don't think we've seen since he teamed with Bad Bunny. What do you think about what Damian Priest Live could mean just for the character? Are you muted? I think Honey might be muted.
Oh, I'm muted. Unmute me. Sorry. My bad, guys.
Yeah,
But I was just,
you're muted.
I was literally just saying, I was literally just saying that I think, according to this, what I'm reading now is that, it's a panel, a priest, a special, a 24 special from WWE on Priest and a panel discussion with Judgment Day. I know I got it. They told me. And there's going to be a panel with the Judgment Day. They're going to, I guess, have like a Q&A, as you said. I think this is really, really cool for Damian Priest. I think it gets to add more to the Judgment Day story of him getting all that attention as a champion. And I also think that, let me see. I also think that this is a good way for them to yeah, because honestly it is giving babyface vibes ever since Gunther said what he said, and I do have some problems with Gunther. I've been rooting for him all year, his whole intercontinental title reign, and he has the nerve. When you start using words like street trash and street red and things like that, and for us New York Bronx people, especially as Puerto Ricans, you don't want to mess with that. So Damien, I completely flipped my switch, and Damian Priest is definitely in babyface waters that we haven't seen in a while, since he, like you said, since he teamed up with Bad Bunny, or even when he aligned himself with Rey Mysterio for a while at first, I believe. But yeah, I guess this could just be more. This is more attention for there's more attention for Damian Priest and more reasons for Judgment Day to stay on top. The only thing, my only concern is that, mommy doesn't have her belt. We got JD and and Finn Balor with the titles. Dom doesn't have anything. Dom is just in deep doo doo, and mommy needs a title back. So I think this is also a good way for in the future where people. This is where Damian starts getting a little big headed, because as he said in weeks prior that he doesn't need the Judgment Day. So it could cause quite the controversy, or maybe something can happen at that panel as well. Maybe Gunther will show up.
I had the pleasure of seeing I guess a live panel with Damian Priest out here in LA for WrestleMania a couple years ago, and that was really cool. It was cool to learn more about him, kind of his upbringing, his character, and stuff like that. I think there's a lot more to Damian Priest that fans should know, especially on this world title reign. And I think that the WWE 24 series would be the perfect way to bring that out. I think what they're doing is going to show more of the person behind the lens here, behind the character, like they do so well with so many other documentaries. And I think that's going to make you want to root for Priest even more. Now, whether that means a split from Judgment Day, I don't know what that means, because I don't think I can't see Finn and JD, neither Carlito or Dom, going face. But this seems like it might be a face turn for Rhea as well as Priest. I don't know what that means for Judgment Day.
There's no way
what
that
up,
Dom.
We got some comments. Giovanni Vinci cost Gunther because he doesn't wear knee pads. There's no way. What?
I was gonna say there's no way that Dominic is gonna have any kind of babyface love right now. He's just getting all the heat. He's just getting all the heat. That babyface run ain't coming. It's just hold off for a little. I know that babyface run is coming, but not yet. Definitely not yet.
Yeah. Dylan says Damian's days and Judgment Day are numbered with that new theme. Jeffrey believes that Gunther doesn't believe that Gunther's winning the championship at SummerSlam. Doesn't seem like it. Sindale's in the chat. Damian's body transformation is absolutely insane. If you've seen the pictures, him and Gunther, insane body transformation.
And even Akira Tozawa, body transformations like a mother, and such fantastic work too. I also don't think that Gunther's gonna win this championship. I even said it when we were discussing it last week. I was saying that I think that Damian Priest, with Marie Shadows on Friday, shout outs to Marie, we were on the live show last week, and I did say that Damian Priest needs this win a lot more than Gunther needs this win, and I think that'll be a great way to get a nice clean win for Damian Priest, being that everybody's been questioning his title reign ever since CM Punk has been helping him the last couple of times.
I'm going to agree with Dylan. I think Damian Priest gets the win. How he says, however, it will not be clean. And he brought up an interesting point about Giovanni Vinci, who we haven't seen since he got exiled from Imperium. That receipt has to come at some point. He got
Mm-hmm.
drafted to SmackDown. We just don't hear from him at all. I don't even know if he's been on main event.
No.
So I think eventually we'll see something there. But Priest going over Gunther will be that big statement win that he needs to
Hmm.
be the face of Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Monday Night Raw and Raw going to Netflix here, today marks 16 years since WWE went PG,
Boy, have we come a long way from that.
in an era that we've seen that it seems like right. Seems like we're sprinting out of the PG era directly into whatever Netflix will hold. What do you think of the PG era and how it kind of, I guess, defined the last decade and some change for W era? Was it a success? Do you think things could have been done differently? If you remember, certain things were taken off programming, like no cuss words. I believe they removed chair
No
shots to the
blood.
head, removed blood. I think, if anything, for the PG era, I will say merchandise moved a lot more. If I can put one stamp on anything, I would say merchandise moved a lot. When you look at like acts like the New Day and John Cena, probably defined the PG era. I think they sold a lot more merchandise by nature of that. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it definitely strayed away from the attitude era that we all know and loved. So in the beginning stages of PG era, this was something that I kind of strayed away from. I was not a big fan of the PG era, but without the PG era, we would not have had all the merchandise move the way it did with WWE, nor would we have gotten John Cena, the likes of the Miz. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. There was so many, and even in from the into the ruthless aggression era, you know what I'm saying, we had, the pipe bomb and things like that, which is probably the closest thing you could get to going past PG because he broke that fourth wall. uh I could say it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally as a fan, it was never really my exact cup of tea, though. There was a lot of cool things to remember, and a lot of cool well, back then they were called pay-per-views. Still, there were pay-per-views uh that were really memorable as well, like, with the Money in the Bank, thing events like that. We would never would really have that today. Let's see. But I it honestly, yeah, yeah, we wouldn't have without the PG era. Was something that was still necessary. It was a reality based era also. um the Bella twins were very big in the PG era, and they were one of the most popular divas at the time as well, before women's wrestling actually became a thing. So without the PG era, we wouldn't have the era we have right now, the one that we're going into, including the one that's happened the last few years. I would say the last few years was like a questionable era, because there was a lot that were borderline PG, but still like trying to push the boundaries a little bit and bend the rules a bit. And now, since this year with the final boss and this Triple H era, we've completely gone off the rails, which is no problem with me because I love that. But without the PG era, we wouldn't have gotten the likes of guys like John Cena, Randy Orton, Miz, CM Punk, all guys that were very important to the PG era in order to usher in this new era. So I wouldn't change it, because without that, we wouldn't have this right
Mm-hmm.
now.
We'll go to some comments. MDB says W was rated R when I was a youth, but PG as an adult. PG era was a success from a financial standpoint, sure, but content, nope, says Dylan. Cindil says, I have to say, the fact that the lowest possible point of women's wrestling occurred during the PG era is insanely ironic. That is ironic. MDB believes that the 90s merch was better, just the PG merch era was more accessible. Well, that's debatable to say it was better. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was better.
Jeffrey feels we are slowly moving away from the PG era.
Slowly.
They might rip that band-aid off when we get on Netflix. You guys might be surprised. You never know.
This whole
You
year
never
was
know.
just toying with the fact of what they could possibly get away with on TV, and they could honestly get away with a lot without, every couple of times you'll have the screen turning black, especially on Fox on Fridays. But Mondays this year were lit. You got Cody Rhodes beaten up in blood. You got the final boss cursing and everything like that. And you knew exactly what he was saying. So it's like we definitely are on the verge of ripping that Band-Aid off. I think they were just testing the waters.
That's the thing. I will compliment the PGR because I think it accomplished a lot more for the depth of performers. When you can't cuss in your promos or you can't rely on like sex to sell and things like that, you have to define who you are on screen. Why should we care about you? And I think a lot of performers had to sink or swim because of that. And I think the
Yes.
people that shined are the people that you still see today, like your Randy Ortons, your CM Punks, things like that. People who have to actually develop their personality in front of an audience. And I think for not for nothing, the PG era made a lot of people step their game up
Yes,
on
it did.
screen and
You
have to
had
be
to.
able to tell stories, have to be able to promo better, and all the likes.
Without the PG era, we probably wouldn't
Speaking
even
of
have an NXT.
promo, and very true, very true. Speaking of promos and tenure and years and all the likes, it is now 261 days. Am I saying that right? 261 days as the United States champion in the WWE era. That's good enough for third longest United States championship reign. Overall, it's seventh in history for U.S. title reigns with just 2 title defenses. Mr. Logan Paul, everybody. What do we feel about this title reign? I think we knew this was coming as soon as he became champion, that they were going to allow him to hold this belt as long as he needed to, just to try to boost WWE outside of the actual in-ring product.
I just have this to say about
Heel of the day!
Yeah. I don't care. Screw Logan Paul. I don't care. But I guess kudos. But he's not a defending champion. So this shouldn't even be a thing. I don't even know why it's been a thing. I don't even know why they handed this man a title. He didn't do anything with it. He didn't make it prestigious. He didn't John Cena the thing. I would prefer to rewatch John Cena's whole reign and rewind history and watch that over than see this man become a US champion. That's all I'm going to say. 261 days of being a punk and a coward, as they just said here in the comments.
Yeah, a lot of people are unhappy with me that I brought this up, but I'm just the guy that reads the news. Don't blame me. This is the news for the day. 2 title defenses, and we know he's on a crash course with LA Knight for SummerSlam. Pretty likely that he drops that belt in his hometown. But I mean, can we say one good thing about Logan Paul, that maybe he's brought more notoriety to WWE just by having a title, just carrying the belt everywhere? Is it possible?
I guess. I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm just going to say I guess. But it's like,
is the Prime partnership helping WWE?
I guess. I don't know. It's helping him. It's definitely helping him a lot more. But I don't know. I'm just glad they took out that ugly ass logo in the middle of the ring. But you have him with names like there have been 102 different champions with this title. And Ric Flair has the most reigns at 6. I don't know how many of Lex Luger held the title for 523 days. So he still's got a long way to go if he really wants to beat a record. But this is it. I think it's crazy to say that he's only third, you said, as far as holding this title.
In the WWE banner, so not including WWF, he's third longest now.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy to me.
It's crazy, right?
That's weird.
So he's definitely in the history books now, whether we like him or not. His name is going to be right there, and we're going to have to look back on this reign and maybe not from an in-ring standpoint, but we're going to have to look at this title reign and say, like, the exterior factors, like how many views is Logan Paul bringing in from his social media, from his Twitter account, from his Instagram account and followers, from the Prime Energy partnership, are those the things that are bringing the social media eyeballs to the product, not so
Mm,
much as in ring work? I don't know.
that's a
I
good
don't know.
point. I will say this, real quick fact: Dean Ambrose, who everybody knows as John Moxley, is the
Calendar year.
longest reigning champion under the WWE banner at 351 days. So he's literally 100 days away from he could break that reign if he wanted to. But that's not happening. We know he's losing in SummerSlam.
I got you, Jeffrey. I'll remove the picture. Jeffrey wanted me to remove the Logan Paul picture, so I got you. Um, Sindel says he doesn't bring up WWE constantly though, but it's probably just the carrying around the U.S. title. If I'm being honest, just carrying the belt around to public appearances and things like that. People are like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, well, I'm the United States champion of WWE." Really? Okay, like maybe people don't know that, but I digress.
Lord.
I mean, we don't have to talk about Logan anymore. We can talk about last Saturday we marked a decade of the New Day. And what I mean
Happy
by decade, this is the
anniversary.
official formation of the group. They didn't actually have their first match on Raw until months later, I believe in October. But the New Day actually acknowledged this on online on Saturday. Big E, Woods acknowledging it. Uh, and they said that I think Woods said when they actually debuted in ring, they also call that Black Friday collectively because it was SmackDown. Now,
Oh my goodness.
what do you got? I mean, what's the make of the New Day in here with the angle that they're in? With Big E just giving us the news last week, I believe he actually was asked another comment on another podcast that it seemed he said, with in regards to the Final Testament, that Woods and Kofi have to handle business in that regard. So you have to believe that there's some type of big anniversary celebration plan for the mark of their first match as a trio. But just having this here and knowing that we've made 10 years as a legit stable, no turns, no breakups, no drama, that's unheard of. Never happens. So that's like, they're like in the top of the top when you talk about factions right there. When you just say it's
Hmm.
that they haven't had any type of drama as a team. But
Hmm.
what are some of your fondest memories of the New Day?
My fondest some of my fondest memories of the New Day is definitely when they've had they beat they had WWE history at 483 days, surpassing Demolition's title reign. I think that's something very special and always to be congratulated on their part, only because they actually were a tag team that I didn't think would last as long as they did. They've lasted longer than a lot of other tag teams would. And between the products, the pancakes, the bootios, and how fun they were, it took a while for them to grow on me. At first, they just came off as kind of like annoying, as they came off a little bit annoying or a little bit obnoxious. But then I understood it and I got with it. And then you got the New Day Rocks. You had oh my God, what's Francesca, the trumpet, things like that. Like they brought a whole look at this. I can't with him. I love this. But yeah, and being a stable to capture SmackDown Tag Team Championship 7 times, uh Kofi Kingston becoming a world champion of Kofi Mania. There's a lot of really cool accolades under the belt of the New Day, and whatever happens going forward with them, I really hope that they choose to probably keep them together. I think it's just obvious that they're trying to cause some friction between Kofi and Xavier Woods with the whole story with Karrion Cross and the Final Testament. But I think the power of positivity will always prevail when it comes to the New Day, and yeah, they're going to be probably one of the longest standing trios of all time or factions of all time in WWE. They're like the Destiny's Child of WWE.
They've done so much. They've been leading merch sellers. I just showed you guys all the products that I have, and that's not even including like every shirt and the blanket behind me. As far as
I
New
was
Day
gonna
merch,
say, where's
they've
the
dominated
T-shirt?
merch for so long. Like hosted WrestleMania. Um, they got to take on stages of the Bloodline, which was pretty cool.
The Shields.
that it was a mistake. So broke their record. It meant more when the New Day broke that tag record because, and it didn't even last a calendar year. That's what sucks. They have a whole book on breaking the record that I just showed on screen a minute ago, and to not have that record last at least 5 to 10 years is a shame because the original record lasted so long, but for them to have so much staying power as a trio and to see it still going, I really hope that whatever happens later this year, that we really allow them to have their flowers before whatever swan song we have, especially if we're not going to see Big E actually return to the ring.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, we got to talk some business here. I'm actually going to let. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying congratulations to the New Day. I think we're on like a little delay. I'm starting to catch that now. I think like I don't know if whatever. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll fix it though. But we gotta. I guess we gotta celebrate.
What do you mean
it's
you guess?
Hickenbottom's birthday, y'all.
You
And,
guess? No.
That's
not Hickenbottom. That's that picture.
And love online.
Delete. That's not Hickenbottom in this picture, ladies and gentlemen. That is HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn effing Michaels in all his glory. You see the sequence, you see the chaps, you see the bandana, you see, like, come on, you see the fireworks. This is Mr. WrestleMania in one of his primes, in one of his greatest fashions, and it is his birthday today. We celebrate in one half of the two dudes with attitudes over here. Okay, you will address this picture of this man properly. This isn't Hickenbottom. Right now, what we see, that's Hickenbottom. This is Shawn Michaels.
Okay,
Just saying.
Let me rewind. Let me reel it back. Let me reel it back. Okay. Happy birthday to the GOAT, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Let me be clear. I love Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler. I'm going to separate the performer from the showrunner, though. Because the showrunner is the reason why I'm wearing this shirt. Because really, we still celebrating Lola Vice's birthday, and Mr. Michael Sean Hickenbottom need to do the right thing and strap up Lola. That's all right. Well, you could talk to him at another time. Greatness. We celebrate the man's greatness. We celebrate all the WrestleMania moments. All great wrestler of all, probably the greatest wrestler of all time. We're being honest. But I just want the showrunner to make sure that he makes better shows. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Makes better shows. Man,
that's all I'm saying. Just make better shows. Like, you're a great performer, but you can be a better boss. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Be a better boss.
I think he's a fantastic
happy birthday.
boss.
No, yeah. I'll Hey! This is a PG show, cousin Ron. You know what I meant when I said strap up Lola. It means to strap her up with the NXT Women's title.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Michael Sean Hickenbottom is crazy. That's his name. That is his name. If you see WWE sign his checks, that's what it says. It doesn't say Shawn Michaels. I'm addressing him like he would address me, Cedric Weldon. I'm saying, Michael Sean, you need to put the title on the right character. That's all I'm saying. We got a Raw preview tonight, and tonight is going to be actually a really monumental night of WWE Raw because people are anticipating that CM Punk will actually be cleared for action. What are you most excited for WWE Raw tonight? On top of that, I believe we do have matches with the Final Testament against Xavier Woods and Akira Tozawa. Sonya Deville back in singles action taking on Lyra Valkyria. Yeah,
this is gonna be really, really good. I mean, it's Monday, y'all. Y'all know damn well what I'm looking forward to tonight, and unfortunately, it has nothing to do with any of these superstars, as great as they are, and I love them all. And I am gonna tune into every single minute tonight. But don't get me wrong. The thing that I am highly anticipating is the Wyatt Six. That's all. I just want to see more Wyatt 6, another tape, another segment, another character reveal and interview, possibly something. And I don't know. Considering that Gable overstepped his boundaries last week, that's what I'm really looking forward to. I want to see the aftermath of that, and I want to see what Bo Dallas. Well, this isn't Bo Dallas, but I want to see what Uncle Howdy's gonna do. But this is gonna be good. I didn't do Honey Pot predictions, so if you don't mind, I just want to do them really quick. CM Punk, I think we already know that Drew is still suspended, but I think Drew is probably gonna find a way to break the rules, which he always does. Then what was the other match? We have Lyra Valkyrie and Sonya Deville. I'm gonna have to go with Lyra and the girls. I feel like Zelina Vega would have something to do with this to kind of piggyback on some payback from the ladies from last week, because they did jump my girl, and we want justice for Zelina Vega, damn it. And then Akira Tozawa and Final Testament, I think somehow that's where we see the Creed brothers and Gable, and that's where we get our Wyatt 6 action. So real quick Honey Pot predictions there.
And if you guys didn't know, CM Punk's dog Larry actually has merch on WWE Shop right now. So
no way.
Another guy contributed to the merch. Just reading some comments, because I agree. I think the Wyatt 6 stuff will be very engaging. I actually hope we get Loomis's tape tonight.
Yes.
MDB says CM Punk is going to get screwed by Seth. I can feel it. Boza says we have Bo becoming Uncle Howie, Eric Rowan becoming Rambling Rabbit. Who's up now? Yes, we're going to get another reveal. Hopefully, a lot of people are interested in the Wyatt 6. Me personally, I hope we get another chapter and whatever this mommy versus Liv stuff. I think that's going to be very telling whenever, whatever we get here, with Dom begging for mommy's forgiveness, with the Judgment Day clubhouse getting invaded by Liv, with them playing video games. Something's got to give tonight. And it's going to be a packed Monday Night Raw for sure. So I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see. CM Punk likely opens the show, I'm pretty sure.
MDB, don't do that to my girl.
I posted that so you can do business. I posted that for you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. MDB, you and I are going to have a talk. I haven't seen you in here in a while. It's good to see you, but don't be coming for my girl. We don't have to talk about this.
He said he's sorry he had to. All in all, very packed Monday Night Raw. I think Sonya Deville being in ring will be very fun. I don't think she's wrestled no, I think she's wrestled a singles already, but happy to see her healthy as well.
Well, she did last week.
Back on the screen.
Yeah, we saw her fight last week. She beat Zelina Vega. Eye roll, major eye roll.
Right. But yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. I appreciate everybody in the chat joining us. Dylan, MDB, Jeffrey, Boza, Special Little Nobody's cousin Ron, Sin Dill, I believe it was Christy I saw earlier. You guys make WWT go. Eric Isaac, thank you for rolling with us on Monday. We're going to get ready for Monday Night Raw here in less than an hour. And hopefully, like I said, Dexter Loomis's tape. Honey, let the good people know where they can find you.
You can find me at the Shawn Michaels HBK birthday party. Even though I didn't get a full personal invite, I did get a virtual invite. So I'll be showing up there. Other than that, you can find me here on Monday, Wednesdays, or Fridays here with the WWT Live crew. Don't forget Friday nights. We have our Friday night SmackDown watch along. I do want to say really quickly, I apologize for the sudden abrupt leaving of my stream last Friday. I had some technical difficulties, but Honey Pot is back up and running, and I just wanted to make sure that I apologize for that, because I felt totally awful. I just left everybody hanging. But thank you guys for hanging with me on Fridays and hanging in the chat and doing what it do and holding it down. But yep, WWT Live Monday, Wednesday, Friday night SmackDown. Don't forget our NXT post show if we ever have one. I don't even know if we have one anymore, but there's going to be a lot of other things going on. Maybe we're going to have some guests for the Friday night watch along. I heard Boss Lady possibly mentioning something about a Raw watch along, but we need some some more hosts to be present, and like my colleague over here. But yeah, everything Wrestling with Honey, TikTok Wrestling with Honey, Facebook Wrestling W Honey, Instagram Wrestling with Honey, as well as the Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube.
Well, I really don't think the real TK likes when the inmate runs the asylum, because we start late, but we finish on time. So you can find me on these Twitter streets at says at CEDD_SAYS, on the gram at said is the answer, where you can see all of my exploits in Vice City and all other good journalistic stuff on CedricDWelton.com. There will be some new stuff. I did write an article about Stephanie Baker that you can find on the WWTalkpod.com website. And also make sure you get your merch. We got a lot of merch in the store. Our partnership with All Caribbean Wrestling. We have a lot of shows, a lot of good interviews on there. I believe there's an interview with Carmelo Hayes that you can check out, interview with Steph DeLander on there. And check out our counterparts' content as well. The professor is always posting great content on his IG. Jason always has great content on his podcast as well. As usual, I will spread the hashtag blame Jacob Lawrence. I don't know where he's been, but apparently he has more work for the mayor to do. So look out for more content from him and I in the near future. And look out for, you know what's funny? I will drop this news here as well. With President Biden dropping out of the election here, I think it's only fair that I run. And my first debate will be against our own Councilman Farrow here in the next few months. So make sure you look out for that. I'm calling my shot. Mr. Farrow, I challenge you to a duel.
Ooh.
But thank you for being the best part of WWT Live. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Check out the rest of our interviews and everything like that. And we appreciate y'all. Until next time, y'all, this is WWT Live, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WWTalkPod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.